It's your boy Nick, HOUTX Trader, coming from Houston, Texas, guys. Today, your boy Nick, HOUTX Trader, is going to say what's up with Bitcoin. It's a full Bitcoin breakdown. It's from my boy Shaggy. Y'all know him as Pixel Rainbow, part of the Solana crew, part of the Vtopia BitDog Board Ape crew. Shout out to my Board Apes. Shout out to my Vtopias and my BitDogs. And of course, all to Andy Peters, boys in the Pip Connect. Thank you guys very much for following me. Please like, please subscribe. Now that that's over, remember, this is not financial advice. This is for training only. If you need financial advice, go please see a financial planner. So let's get into it. Let's share the screen. And here we go, guys. I caught three Bitcoin trades in a row. There they are. Everything is called out live in the Bitcoin, in the BitDogs, in the Andy Peters Pip Connect, and of course in the Board Apes. Let's just figure out why, right? Let's just figure out why I've done these things. So we're going to switch to this Bitcoin chart, okay? And this is on a higher time frame. Well, let's put it on higher time frames. Let's put it on the daily, okay? So I start obviously on the daily, right? So when I see this daily, and I come over here and I see there's a high, obviously, and there's a low. Okay. So everyone thinks that maybe that we're in a bullish cycle. I would have to disagree with them. Okay. Highs, lows, lower high, lower low, lower high, double top, matter of fact, lower low, lower high, lower low. And this, my friend, as you can see, is marked up as an Elliott wave retracement. So it did not break this $70,000 mark right there. There's a red line at that top going all the way across. Guess what, guys? It did not break it, which means what? Which means we're not bullish. We are still not bullish. When that 70 grand breaks, then I will be the first one to say we're bullish. We're not bullish. Okay. This is a retracement back into the top of this area. And on the lower time frames, I could show you the fair value gap, show you the order block, and show you why it rejected at that spot. And that's exactly where I took my trade. Okay. So on the smaller time frames, now we're down to, let's go down, let's just say the 4 hour. Okay. And you see those two red lines that I have at the top. Okay, so what are those two lines? Again, this is that 70,000 mark that we just had marked off on the daily. So let's just zoom in real quick and get down inside here and figure out why I marked that area off. My computer is running a bit slow because of all the shenanigans I have going on with the VPN and the Zoom and the trading and the brokers and everything else that I have going on. So let's scroll back over. Unfortunately, it wants to move my place. Scroll all the way over there to all over here. Takes forever. Okay. Should be there. Okay. So this is my little spot. We're on the 30-minute time chart. Okay. Obviously, the 70,000 mark is the top. Okay. And so I see this last little bit of buy candles right there. Okay. See those two buy candles? So I said, when these two buy candles were there, when it broke that little circle, I'll take that off, it took off and it fell. It fell to the ground. So immediately I'm thinking, okay, well, this, as you can see, from there to let's say there, we don't have to be super precise because I'm just showing you guys. From there to let's say right there, it's like a fair value gap. Okay, so I marked that off. This is no buyers had a chance to equally participate in the market. There's the last buy candle. So I already knew that this was a version buy candle that I wanted to target. This is a fair value gap that I'd like to see filled in. And I see there's two buy candles sitting right here. So that's the bottom of my red line. That was my entry. All right. I waited for it to come up, hit this little area, and then turn around. Now, you guys often hear me talk about kissing candles. Well, there's a little kissing candle right here. And this is primarily this what I'm telling you now is made for Shaggy because I want him to think about this. And this is a kissing candle, right? So we talk about fair value gaps, and some of you guys will see the big fair value gap that I've drawn right here, obviously. But you will also be looking for that candle bottom and that candle bottom. Okay, well, you could say, okay, well, that's a fair value gap. Okay, I agree. This candle bottom and this candle top. So you would be saying this little area is a fair value gap. I also agree. What I like to do is look at a higher time frame, right? And go for the bigger fair value gap, not just where in between the sell candles, but I also like where's the buy candle? Sorry, it did that. Where is the buy candle? Right? There it is. There's the bottom of that buy candle. Where's the next buy candle? There's the next buy candle. There's that. So this then is the fair value gap that I want to play in. All right. Not so much in between the sell candles. Okay. So there's a different way of looking at fair value gaps. So now that we've done that, and I'm going to use this little block right here as an example, we can come down even to the smaller time frames. Let's say the 3 minute, and hope to God it doesn't reset everything. Of course it did. I don't even know if it's going to give me that much history. Let's do the old drag and move thing here. Again, my computer is not, the chart is not moving as fast as my mouse is. It is what it is. This is where I should edit the videos and have cuts, but I'm not a video editor. I don't have editing software. Oh, I have a GoPro. A fucking dog. All right. As soon as you start making a video, the dog's gonna scratch your office door and be like, "Let me in," as if they're missing out on the video. Okay, this is getting too crazy. This dragging shit is getting annoying because it's so far back. I don't even see the information on the bottom of the screen. Like, what the hell's? Okay, I'm not gonna do this. We're just gonna go back. What the point I was trying to make is that a lot of times inside of a kissing candle, let's just say we'll find one here somewhere. A lot of times inside of a, let's say a 30 minute, here, we'll just use let's just use one of these for example. Mm, not so much that one. That doesn't look good. Let me see if I can find a better one. The point was I was trying to make is when you get inside of these candles where you have what I call a kissing candle, like I showed you a minute ago, you know, almost this one, but this one doesn't have a wick. Like I would say this right here, but that does not have a wick. The point I was trying to make is when you get inside there, let's say you spot this bottom and this, and there's your fair value gap. Okay. And then you spot inside of there this wicking type candle. This is what I call a kissing candle. We can get inside of that and let's look inside of that. At least it's closer. We don't have to scroll so far. Because when I was scrolling last time, it doesn't even have the dates on the bottom of the screen. Okay. So that's the area that I was talking about. So when you look at the candles and they look like a fair value gap or what I call kissing candle, what is really in between, let me just delete that. What is really in between is this little bitty area of buy candles inside of there. That's why there's wicks. So if you see a candle body like this, and you see another candle body next to it, like the very next candle, right? And this wick is like that, and this wick is like this. Okay. Let me just make this a little better. You get the idea, right? You have the wicks. In between those areas, in between this little area right there, will be other like buy candles. So in this situation, it's a sell candles. In between this will be little bitty buy candles like you see right here. So that's kind of how I break down my fair value gaps to get a little better idea what's really going on. Is I get inside of those fair value gaps, find the wicking candles, what I call kissing candles, and then get in, then zoom in and find where that last virgin, what I call virgin candles, like find where some buy candles inside those cells. That's the sweet spot. That's where the markets want to go. So you start off obviously with looking for fair value gaps and order blocks on higher time frames, but this is the perfect example of what we're doing now. So let's just bring this back to current time, right? On the trade, the reason why I called out this trade at 68 800, right there is what I called out. I noticed that there's a Fibonacci top to bottom. So your 88.6, 78.6. So this is the area that I like to live in. This is my sell zone. All right. So I want you guys to think about this. That's my sell zone. So once price gets up in here, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to hit the button. What else do we have? Well, here, not that, here to there. This right here is the last order block on this time frame. Right? This is the last bit of buy candles before it left the station and took off, right? So for me, the market is going to want to come back up to this area where these buys are and allow these people to get out of their bad positions. So whoever's in buys here, okay, as this market comes down, they're having more incentive to keep buying to push this market back up because they're in drawdown. They want to see the market come back up into this area, right, to sell back off. It just makes sense. Like, hey, they're not going to take a loss. They're just going to keep buying, 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 and then, supply and demand move the market back up to their area. Now, the entire time they're buying down here, all right, they're making this profit, and then they're closing out these positions at break even. Okay, so they're going to have motivation to keep buying. Okay, so there we go. Now what happens? So this is my area. Okay, well, look, now I have a good order block inside of my sell zone, which my Fibonacci. Now look at what else. We have the fair value gap, okay, which was the bottom of that buy candle to the top of this next little candle right there. So there's the gap. Let's come into the 5 minute and see if there's anything else inside there that we can find to kind of sweeten this up for us, if you will. Okay, let's do this whole click and drag bullshit again. I think it's the VPN. Like I should probably turn the VPN off. Like we're not exactly needing it right now. Let's disconnect. Pause the VPN. Pause for 1 hour. Close this down. Maybe this will free up some of our bandwidth here. Okay. So again, we're still seeing the same fair value gap even on the smaller time frames, which is cool. Like maybe there's not always something inside there, but well, let's see. All right. And this again, I'm trying to get down as close as I can to really show you what's going on here. So inside of my sell zone, which is my 88.6 here, 78.6, I have this is then the last block of buy candles inside of the larger order block that I marked off earlier. So this now is getting my entry more dialed in. Well, where's the bottom of that candle? Where's the bottom of this candle, right? The very bottom of that order block. Well, it sits right there. That's also the very top of that fair value gap right there. Okay. And then if I split the big order block in half, stop. I split that in half, that's 50%, right? So it's all seeming to line up in that area, right? The 50%, half the order block, right in the middle of my sell zone, my fib. So that's the area that I called out. And now look, so if I want to take a sell, I'm saying, okay, well, let's take a sell at the very beginning of this. We don't know how high it's going to go, right? Let's just take a sell there. We could put our stop loss above the order block or above, just a few ticks above this high, which is 70,000. We don't want it to break 70,000, which we don't want this to break. If it breaks, it's going. I mean, it's going to have so much momentum, it's gone. So let's just call out the sell right here at what? 68,906. Well, I called it out at 68,800, which was the very beginning of this order block, right? So maybe I can be a little more aggressive on my entrance. That way, so I know that I'm not going to miss it. 68,800, which was right there at this last little buy candles, right at the very beginning of my fair value gap. And so I'm willing to take that extra little bit of drawdown, right? And so now so that's my number, 68,800, which is right there. And that's what I called out. And that's why I called it out. And look what happened. It came right to my area. Sorry. When you click and drag when it's inside of a thing, it gets stupid. Sorry. So if we then put a mark at 68,800, 68,800, No, that's not what I want to do. Come on. 68,800. There's the mark. I mean, look at how much drawdown that was. I mean, almost none. I mean, that's crazy. If there's the top of the candle and there's my entry, 68, 8 feet, so $53 in drawdown on that's nothing at all. So I'm not saying that that's going to be the winning trade. That's the perfect entry, but I was able to at least be able to get the charts on a higher time frame, figure out where the inconsistencies were, right? Zoom that down to a very small amount, a very precise entry, and take a risk. Now I would expect at least to see a reaction, all right? At least to see a reaction. And that's what it did. The candles on the 1 hour candle, all right, if we come in here, it wicked up right perfectly to where I wanted it to be, right in the middle of that fair value gap, and then closed all the way back down at 68,355. And it's $500. It went down in that one wick. The very next 1 hour candle closed bearish. And technically it engulfed, right? It that closed below that candle. So technically it engulfed. So I'm happy with that entry. I'm not protecting yet. Obviously, we're not going to get into all that craziness, protecting all this, but that's the reason. That's how I was able to find that entry. And there it is, top to bottom, right? And well, let's sweeten it up. Let's just add some confirmations then. All right. As you guys know, I like to enter after liquidity has been taken. So what is this? These are sells, these are sells, these are sells. They're not equal highs, but this is definitely a consolidation area, and that's the top of it. Okay. So I want the market to pierce through this area before it turns around. There's the order block. Okay. And I didn't know if it was going to turn around inside of this order block, or if it was going to keep going up, but I did have my sweet spot there. So it's exactly what it did. It came up, hit my sweet spot, and closed right back down inside the order block, which is this last buy candle right there. All right. And now it's hopefully going to start rejecting. Now, if we think about it even further than that, what else do we have? Well, we have the old good Elliott wave that Shaggy loves so much, third leg, and reversal. Okay, so let's just keep adding now. Reason, if where this E is this is my area here at the top. This is my area. Let's then figure out where the TP would be on this second leg. Now I haven't looked at this. We're doing this raw. We're doing this live. Look at that. 68.6 on the second leg. Again, where's the second leg? The bottom to this before we had a sizable retracement. Look, top all the way down to the 50%. So therefore, that's completed leg. Where does it take profit? Literally right at 6,800, which is exactly where I call the entry. So, I mean, there's so many reasons why I thought. Now, obviously, I didn't know that the second leg would end up there until the second leg retraced. And then I could start looking at that like, okay, second leg is in that area, blah, blah, blah. Right. So that just gives you further confirmation when you want to push the button. But I already had that area marked off, obviously, well before. Okay, so that's how we caught that sell. Yeah, that sell from up here. That's how we caught the sell up here. Again, because I was looking way left of the $70,000 mark and saw some inconsistencies there, and I thought that was a sweet spot. That's that red line. Okay, so then I sold, came all the way down. Well, what's the sweet spot on the buy side? Well, as you can see, I have my buy order there, my buy zone, which is just the bottom, the last low. It came all the way up to the top. All right. So as you can see, it matches up 78, 88.6. So there's my fib. There's my starting point. Okay. Now what happened? Well, I want to see liquidity get taken out. I want to see that there be some areas here where buyers have been sitting and those buyers get taken out, right? I want the price to drop below this area in this area. So whoever has entries here are going to be their break evens are going to be hitting, or maybe even their stop losses if they haven't protected yet. Okay, so there's liquidity. There's my zone. I even see a little fair value gap. Now I have it marked off and not on this time frame. Let's go to the 30 minutes, see if we can figure it out. All right. 30 minute. There it is. So it's actually kind of more like a kissing candle. Maybe the fair value gap that I had was on a 15 minute, even a lower time frame, but If you can see this little box, you can see there's a little consolidation in this area. So let's just go to the 5 minute and see if we can figure it out. I really hate clicking and dragging. This shit's super annoying. I used to be able to do this differently. I think maybe I changed my settings. Like when you change time frames, it goes back to the beginning instead of leaving it where you are. I don't know. Anyways, so yeah, that's not a very pretty fair value gap. I don't know why I had that there, but um you can see it's definitely the bottom of this order block, right? And then you have this large wick. Yeah, to be honest with you, I don't know. If this makes me click and drag, I'm gonna lose my mind. Yeah, why does it do this? So, anyways, I don't know exactly why I had that fair value gap in there, but if once we get down to into those time frames, you can see that there was something there. I can't keep doing this. It's gonna drive me fucking crazy. The way the computer is lagging when I'm clicking, dragging back and forth, with all this stuff on here. And matter of fact, I'm just tired of seeing all these drawings. Every once in a while, you got to just do this. All right. I just deleted everything. I don't care. We'll start over from scratch. But that's the reason why, as you see, that I caught the sell from up here. There it is. The reason why we caught this buy from down here is because there was some uh Fibonacci's and there's some action in here, that's some inconsistencies that let me know that the market would want to come down, clear out this guy, clear out that low, you know, one push down, two push down. I wouldn't even really call that a three push down, but so again, that's a good point then. I wouldn't call that a three push down because it doesn't look correctly. Let's just go to the higher time frame. And now people keep asking, well, where do you think the market's going to go? So that's the first leg, right? First leg, retracement. Now we're still looking for a second and a third leg. So then what do we see? We obviously see a big inconsistency right here. So there's a target. This candle did not hit this area. And we can also see a big inconsistency in the market, in this area, right? The top of this here is not aligned with the bottom. There's nothing in this gap right there. So where's that gap? That gap is sitting at 61,000. Bottom here is 62,000. The top of this that needs to come back is 63.5. So literally someone asked me on the chats a second ago, right? Um, there's the charts with all my things. 66.8 called out, 66.5, whatever. I don't have to show all the receipts for it, but 60, I think it was in Vitopia or Board Ape, excuse me. Board Ape 63.5. There it is. 63.5 is the next, is what my belief is the next target. And it's just simply because of that. If you just look at this fair value gap from the top of this consolidation area to the bottom of that candle right there. This whole area is not has not been filled in. The market has not came back and touched that area. So I still think the market needs to touch that area. And if you see the same thing, the market needs to come back in and fill in this candle and touch that area. Ultimately, like I've been saying for I don't even know how many months now, the real target is, 43.5. No one wants to hear that. But if you just think about it, again, what is this down here at 43.5? I have a whole video on it. What is that right there? Just off the top of my head, I don't even have to look at the price. I can just see this little block of candles that has not been hit yet. It's just sitting there. It's virgin, right? And if we draw a line from the bottom of this candle right there, right? Look at all of this area down here that has not been hit yet. Look at that huge gap. The market needs to fill that in. There, that's the inconsistency right there. So is it so crazy to think that the market will come down, fill that area in, hit this little last block of candles, the order block, and then shoot off? So I'm holding steady with my 43.5. That's where I'm at. Where I'm at. Well, I hope that explained it. I hope that explained to you guys why I was looking at those particular entries, how we caught the entry at the top up here, how we caught the perfect entry at the bottom, and how we caught it right back up at the top. Again, before I deleted all those those markups. I had it here. It's been well documented. If you guys are in the Bored Apes, you can come over to the Bored Apes. I have excuse me, this is Andy Pip's Pip Connect. I had all the entries called out beforehand. Like this Nasdaq entry, all of them. I call out almost every one of my entries. There it is. There's a Nasdaq. I called out sold. And here's the thing, I have receipts, right? So let's say the Nasdaq entry is right there. I'm calling out, there's the entry there, right? And matter of fact, I might have even called it out before that, right? It doesn't really matter, but there it is. I'm showing that there's my entry, right? And look what happened. To the ground, sank like a brick. Here's the Bitcoin buy zone entry that had that marked up forever at 65.6. And of course, you know where the price is at now, 68.8, right? Where's this markup? See, there's my little fair value gap. There's my entry right below the 78.6. I modified it a little bit, but there's my sell in this area. I have those order blocks there, and you guys just saw that it wicked it perfectly, right? So I have the receipts for all this shit. I'm not going to say that I'm going back in time and posting trades after the fact. There it is. There's a $70,000, just below the $70,000 entry right there. As you guys know, it sank all the way to the bottom, and then we caught the trade back up, and now we're catching it back down again. There's the markup. Look up. There's the top. There's the red area, and there it goes. So I'm showing you beforehand. So this is why you guys need to buy a Bored Ape Solana Club and get in the Discords. Buy Andy Peters, get in his group. Buy a Vtopia. There it is. There's all the receipts. Buy a BitDog. Even shout out to my boy Stefano Perez. I post all my crypto shit in Stefano's group. Look at it. There's all the receipts for every one of these. Every one of these trades. There's the receipts for them all. All right. So that's what's up. That's the video. You guys, thanks for sharing. Thanks for stopping by. Please support, please like, please subscribe, please drop some comments, do whatever. I'll put a link to my dot card. Dot card has, the links to the Bored Apes, the Vtopias, Andy Peters, and BitDogs. If you guys want, you guys join in there and go get those. So, all right, I'm gonna call it a night. Hope that helps. Y'all have a good night.